High above the crashing waves of the Pacific Ocean, where the horizon stretches wider than memory, there is a place called Lover's Cape, or in Japanese, Koibito Misaki. It is not just a viewpoint. It is a promise suspended in wind. Located on the western edge of the Izu Peninsula, near the quiet town of Ito, Lover's Cape is where sea and sky meet in perfect silence. Couples come here, not for crowds or noise, but for something simpler, to feel time slow down, just enough to hold someone's hand a little longer. The walk to the cape begins gently, along a wooden boardwalk that winds through pine trees and whispering leaves. You can hear the ocean before you see it, deep and endless, like a heartbeat far below. And as you reach the edge, the land narrows to a finger of rock that points out into the sea, as if reaching for something just out of sight. There, at the very tip, stands a white bell, the bell of love. It hangs alone, framed by sky and sea, waiting to be rung by lovers who dare to believe in forever. The sound it makes is soft, not loud, like a secret being shared with the wind. Legend says that if two people ring the bell together and make a wish, their love will endure, no matter the distance or time. The name Koibito Misaki is no accident. This is where thousands have come to propose, to reunite, or simply to be close without words. But it's not only for lovers. It's for dreamers, for those healing from heartbreak, for those learning how to begin again. Because standing at the edge of the world has a way of reminding you who you are and who you want beside you. Look out from the cape, and on clear days, you can see the majestic outline of Mt. Fuji rising in the distance. It stands like a guardian, calm and eternal, watching over those who dare to feel deeply. Lover's Cape is not flashy. It doesn't shout. But it stays with you. In the sound of waves. In the rustle of wind through trees. In the memory of a quiet moment, shared, felt, and held forever. There are places where love is spoken loudly, with grand gestures and bold declarations. But Lover's Cape speaks in whispers. Here, love is not shouted. It is written in the curve of a path, in the scent of salt on the breeze, in the shared silence of two people watching the waves together. At the heart of it all is the bell of love, suspended between the sky and the sea. Its design is simple: a white frame, a single bell, a rope swaying gently in the ocean wind. But when two people ring it together, it becomes more than metal and rope. It becomes a memory. There is something about ringing it that feels sacred. You grasp the rope with your partner. You count to 3. And together, you pull. The bell sings, not too loud, not too soft. Its sound floats into the wind, over the cliffs, down to the sea. And with it, you send your wish. Your hope. Your vow. Beside the bell, visitors often write messages on wooden plaques, called ema, tying them to railings or trees nearby. Each one carries a name, a date, a short line from the heart. Some are playful. Some are poetic. Some are tear-stained. There are stories hidden in every corner of the Cape. Stories of young couples on their first trip. Of old lovers returning after decades. Of promises made, broken, and rebuilt. The walkway is lined with heart-shaped stones, carved benches, and flower beds that bloom quietly, not to impress, but to comfort. Everything here feels gentle. Even the sound of the ocean is different at Lover's Cape. It doesn't crash, it murmurs. As if the sea itself is listening. Many visitors leave behind a small token, a charm, a letter, a folded paper heart. Because they understand what this place offers. Not just a view, but a chance to feel close to someone else, to the world, to yourself. And when you walk away from the bell, hand in hand, something lingers. A calm. A closeness. A ringing in your chest that doesn't fade. It's not just about love. It's about connection, felt, remembered, carried quietly like a secret. At Lover's Cape, even the silence says, I'm here. If you arrive at Lover's Cape in the late afternoon, stay. Don't rush. Wait for the sun. Because this is a place where sunsets are not just beautiful, they are meaningful. The horizon stretches like a painted scroll, unrolling in shades of gold, peach, and deepening indigo. The sea reflects the sky, and everything, the bell, the boardwalk, even the pine trees, becomes part of the light. As the sun lowers, the wind quiets. Visitors sit along the benches in stillness. A couple holds hands. A solo traveler pulls out a notebook. No one says much. No one needs to. The landscape here is more than just scenery. It's a mirror. It reflects whatever you bring with you: love, loneliness, gratitude, hope. Stand at the edge and look out, and you may find what you didn't know you were searching for. Some come here after heartbreak. To let the sea carry away a name they can't speak anymore. To let the wind remind them they are still whole. Because Lover's Cape is not only for those who have someone. It is for those who are learning to hold themselves. The cliffs are steep but not harsh. The paths curve, not to confuse, but to slow your steps so you notice more. The smell of the sea. The sparkle of light through branches. The way shadows lengthen like open arms. Here, nature holds space for whatever you feel. And it does so without judgment. At night, the bell stands silent in the dark, a quiet silhouette beneath the stars. Some say if you stand close and listen, you can still hear the echo of every wish ever made here. A soft, invisible chorus of love, longing, and whispered prayers. This is why Lover's Cape is not just a destination. It's a sanctuary. A place where the land remembers your footsteps. Where the wind carries your thoughts. Where the sun writes your story in shadow and light. It's a place that feels sacred, not because someone built it to be, but because so many people have felt something real here. At some point, like all journeys, your time at Lover's Cape must end. But endings don't always mean leaving something behind. Sometimes, they mean carrying something with you. You begin the walk back along the same path, under the same trees, past the same wind-shaped rocks, but you feel different. Lighter. Quieter. Full. Maybe you didn't make a wish at the bell of love. Maybe you simply stood and listened. That's enough. Because Lover's Cape doesn't ask you to prove anything. It only invites you to be present. Every step away from the cliff feels like a return, not just to daily life, but to yourself. And somewhere inside, you know that even when the ocean fades from view, when the path disappears behind hills, when the sky above becomes just sky again, part of you stayed. That's the gift of places like this. They become part of your story, even if only for an hour. A footnote in your memory. A quiet sentence whispered between heartbeats. Some visitors come once and never return. But they remember the bell. The breeze. The feeling of standing on the edge and not needing anything but that moment. Others return every year. To relive the memory. To renew a promise. To remind themselves of what it felt like to believe in something simple and beautiful. Whether you leave alone or with someone, you leave having felt something true. Not flashy, not staged, just true. A hand held tighter. A silence shared. A tear wiped away with a quiet smile. These are the souvenirs of Lover's Cape. And when the train pulls away from Izu, or when the road carries you home, you'll feel it, that gentle weight in your chest. Not heavy. Just full. Like a memory you never want to forget. So if you ever find yourself standing at the edge of something, a decision, a dream, a new beginning, close your eyes. And somewhere, you might hear a bell. Soft. Distant. Ringing for love. Because even after you leave Lover's Cape, Lover's Cape never leaves you.